Good evening everybody, welcome back to CRL for round 11, and we are here today in France as we move on to another race yet again, and let's hope it'll be another spectacular race like it was in Monza. Well, this race, it's not really known for overtaking. It can be quite boring at times, but we have seen in the past that it can produce some good racing. There is talks of rain being in the session, so that could spice things up and change things around. But let's see how it all pans out as we move on to Q1 then. So just waiting for two drivers to ready up, and we should be heading off into the first qualifying session then, ready for France here in round 11. So back here, Yogurt will not be joining in the qualifying session. He will be joining in the race, and he's got invites. So we'll wait as he finishes his event, and yep, I think I've got it covered. However, how is everybody doing tonight? I know it's CRL's first anniversary, and it was yesterday, and we're here racing in France. So I'll get the championship standards up for you then, and yeah, look at the conditions then. They do look a bit misty out there, doesn't it? A bit cloudy. Could that indicate a bit of rain for later qualifying? Who knows? But it is Q1, and things can change in the next upcoming qualifying. So I think everybody's just sat in the garage waiting and seeing what the conditions are like. They will tell me the weather, so I already get it spoiled into in the stream. So I'll try and get the championship standards up for you. Nobody rushing out of the garage so far. They're all staying here and probably checking the weather and what tyres they're going to go on and the fuel loads, etc. Yep, everybody's still inside. It's just a very intense wait. Who's going to be the first driver to blink out there and go out on the track? We'll just wait for the drivers to come out, and we'll see what happens. Got a comment coming in, that's probably for the weather. Somebody's probably told me the weather, so I'll go give it a check once my phone has loaded up, and yeah, I can finally see what the weather's going to be like. Judging by this, it does look a bit cloudy, doesn't it? But if it was raining, drivers would be coming out straight away, wouldn't they, to do their laps? So it could be raining later in the qualifying session. I can hear the engines firing up at least, so we're finally going to go and get some cars out on track for you. And it's Mercedes of Farrell Fury, so he's the first man to blink out there as we go aboard with the Mercedes driver. Has achieved a podium in this tier. He finished second in the Russian Grand Prix, and it was a wet race there, so Farrell Fury, they get a very decent result. I did get to speak to him on the podium, and here is the Irishman then coming out of the pit lane. I'll read the comments out, but I should be doing this, but anyway. So thank you to Het Bompier. It says it will be dry for the quali and rain, so there's no suspect of rain, just the cloudy conditions which hover over the circuit. As he carries a bollark with him, so finally gets out of the car. They can slow you down just a bit with the extra weight you're putting on. And we've got an Alfa Romeo out the pit lane. I want to say welcome back to Adam Dixon and Louis Ladd. They're both back in the Renault and the AlphaTauri, so nice to see them back. I don't know where they went, but very nice to see them back, and let's hope they can put some good results on, because I know Louis Ladd is on the verge of the top 10 in the championship standings. He's currently in 10th place with 97 points. Safe from his teammate though, very. They are 26 points adrift from each other. Very doing a good job also in the Renault, so both Renaults get some decent points for the team. The championship standings then. Ferg is leading ahead of Nathan by 10 points. Nathan getting a very good result. I say very good result, he got the win last week, didn't he? So he got himself a whole bunch of points where it all went the opposite way round for Ferg. He had he changed his strategy in the safety car, and that didn't pay out for him, so that'll be a learning point into this race on strategy. Some people make terrible decisions and puts them down the further, but we all make their mistakes. We're all drivers, and trying something different all the time. But he's still in the championship by 10 points. AJ in P3, he's, well, I've got to figure out mentally now. He's 65 points away from Ferg, so 55 points away from his brother. And he didn't have the best of races, did he, at the Italian Grand Prix? He had some problems there. I don't know what happened to him. I think he was involved with some incidents and he had to pit. Did he get a penalty for under the safety car? I can't quite remember, but he did have quite a few problems in that race. Harvey Lee's done a P4. He got a very good result last round. He finished P4 in Monza and his teammate got on the podium. Giroud Vizza, our two-time race winner. Two-time, or was it one time? Definitely won a race in Baku, but I'm not quite sure he won a second one. But he's definitely won a race. And he's P5 in the championship. Duel, P6 in the championship. Hopefully he can find some pace in the AlphaTauri. Mark's P7. Ainimo is P8 after a turn back. He finished on the podium on his return back to Spain. And Monza, I don't think it quite went well for him, did it? Indeed, Jesus won a race. He won it in Bahrain and he got quite a few podiums this season, didn't he? I think he got 3 podiums and he's P9 in the championship for Ferrari. Lewis, like I said, is in P10 as our first time is on the board, which is Farrell Fury. So it's a 28.3 they're all aiming for as we go on board with the Alfa Romeo, who has invalidated it. Expect to see many of those invalidations because it's quite easy to do so. So if loads of drivers then have to go for another lap because of their invalidations, preferably if you do that in Q2, you don't want to do 2 laps on a set of same tyres because this track is tyre dependent and the strategy should be mediums to hards. And I know some drivers will go on the soft compound tyres like they did in Spain and try and get themselves in the top 10 as Krishna rounds the final corner to start his first flying lap. Krishna, he led the race at the Italian Grand Prix in Monza, but he had that little bit of a mistake coming out of the second chicane as he makes his way down into turn 1. Now turn 2, you want to take the turn. You did take the curb in turn 2, but use the outside curb as we head our way down into turn 3 then. Cohen sets the fastest lap of a 28.1. So good lap time on the board from the Dutchman there as he retired in the last race. 22.1 in the first sector for Krishna as he enters turn 6 now through turn 7 onto the long straight with DRS. This is where you'll see the overtakes happening. Heavy braking zone coming up into turn 8, he pulls to scrub the speed off. Doesn't use the outside curb, uses a lot of curb on the inside though, which is this is the line you want to take through there. Bounce over the curb, carry the speed in, and this middle sector here, his teammate gets out of the way for him. It's a 49.4, coming in the fast right-hander, flat out through here, no need to lift off whatsoever. This one here, right-hander, sharp turning, but you want to drift it out wide to get a really good exit. Some people take a tighter exit, some people go wider than others. It's your preferable choice. I don't know which one's quicker. I've only tried one line myself. This one here, a left-hander, penultimate corner, which leads into the final corner. There's a McLaren ahead of us, but he'll get out of the way for Krishna. As Fergus has the fastest time of a 27.8. As Krishna makes his way to the line, let's see what the Red Bull driver can set. He goes to P4 with a 28.6. He's 3/10 away from his nearest competitor. We saw the McLaren go on a lap, that's Harvey Lee's. What about Knight? He's on a lap so far as Steiny goes up into P4 with a 28.4. Where's Ainimo? There he is, going into turn 1 and turn 2. Drew Vizza is ahead of us. I don't know if he got compromised into turn 1 and turn 2 with the distraction, but hopefully it's not going to be off-putting too much. It is Q1, so he's got plenty of time to make amends to his lap time. 21.8 in the first sector from Mark. Don't know what first sectors they should be setted. I should know this because I did qualifying runs myself. Here's Het Bompje through turn 1 and turn 2. He's done a good job. His qualifying is good, but his race pace, I dare say, needs improving slightly because he has made a few mistakes. Some not of his own, but some others he made a mistake on his own. So he's definitely got to improve. And let's see, it's a 21.9. That's better from Mark. Mark did a 22 point something. So Mark's first sector needs improving because we saw Het Bompje do a 21. Here's Harvey Lee's the McLaren driver. He finished P4 last time out. His teammate got on the podium. It's a very good result for McLaren. A complete contrast to the race in Spain. Now coming towards the penultimate corner here. Very difficult, especially this last corner too. Odd traction, really crucial. Get the rotation in. On the throttle we go. DRS wide open. And let's see where the McLaren driver can go. This will be a 27.7. And he puts himself P1. A whole 10th clear ahead of Ferg. Krishna's got himself 2 laps on the board. P6 for him. Het Bompje, turn 13 this says, so I'll stick with it. As Ainimo goes up to P5 at 28.2, a 10th away from Cohen in P4. Here comes Het Bompje. Makes his way around the final corner. Short shift on the exit. Uses the curb on the exit. DRS is open. And let's see where the Dutchman could go. This time will get him to P7. It's a 28.4 from Het Bompje. Giroud Vizza is on a lap time. As we see, Renault is set to 3. And that's going to be very on a lap time. As AJ goes up into P4 with a 28.0. Here comes the Renault then. Let's see what the driver can set. Makes his way towards the line. This is going to be a 28.2, and he goes up into P6 then. His teammates on a lap, and I think the Williams is on a lap of Choye. Choye got P4 and P5 in Monza in Spain, so he collected a whole bunch of points there to put to his name, and goes up higher in the tally. So he's doing a fantastic job. Is Choye. As he makes his way towards the line, let's see what lap time the Williams can set. This is going to be a 27.8, and he goes P4. As we see an Alfa Romeo come out of the pit lane, which is ISO Knight. So Choye has got himself in the top 4. That's a good job from him. Giroud Vizza, he's somewhere out there. There he is, and the Dutchman has invalidated it, so he's going to have to go for another run. Now I know Giroud has practice, so he'll be frustrated with that one, but it is Q1, and yeah, all you need is a lap time to be in the top 15. And Dewall's on a lap then. His teammate Adam Dixon is back. So who was Dewall's teammate last time, and it wasn't Choye because he was making his debut for Williams. I wonder who his AlphaTauri teammate was last time around. I need to remember these things. It's a 21.9 for Dewall in the first sector then. Makes his way to on the straight. Got a bit of traffic ahead of us, but hopefully that won't affect him too much then. As we come down into turn 7, the heavy braking zone. It doesn't use the whole track and make our way down to the Dewall chicane. Use the curb on the entry and on the exit too. Went a little bit wide, but I don't think that'll affect him too much. Probably cost him a tenth or two. It's 49.1 in the middle sector from Dewall. Makes his way now to the fast right hand there, flat out through there. And this one, that was ISO Knight getting out of the way. Gets back in the power. This can be quite difficult. All you need to do, you don't want to catch the curb there. You want to rotate the car as much as you can through that corner, but don't want to catch the curb because that will unstable your car. Make the car unstable as he makes his way towards the penultimate corner. Seems like a decent lap from Dewall. Very smooth the way he's driving. Nice final corner from Dewall, and let's see. Activates DRS a little bit late, and let's see where he can go. It's going to be a 28.2, and he moves himself up into P2 then from the Frenchman at his home Grand Prix. Giroud, so what's he doing? He's still out there, so we'll continue with him. He's doing 2 laps on those set of tyres because he did invalidate on his first run. Now he's coming towards the penultimate corner. Has a slight lock up on entry. Decent exit though. So let's see what the Ferrari driver could do as he makes his way across the line. It's a 28.2, and he goes up into P9 ahead of Nemo then. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 drivers on the 28.2. That's crazy. So there's the initial lap time set then, as we await Nathan, Adam Dixon and ISO Knight. Nathan's on a lap time as ISO Knight has moved himself up into... Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Where'd he go? He's just disappeared. Where's he gone? No, he hasn't. It wasn't ISO Knight, it was somebody else who wasn't on the timing charts. Can't quite remember who it was. Adam Dixon, it was Adam Dixon. He's got up to P7 with a 28.1, and he's 5 thousandths off Cohen in P6. So we await ISO Knight and Nathan. We'll go above an ISO Knight first as he's closer to the line than Nathan. You can see he did put a lot of fuel in the car, just for 1 lap only. We've got 5 minutes left to go in this session, so the driver's in danger, I dare say. Well, it is. I say ISO downwards. Rel Foul Fury. Knight makes his way across the line. There's a 28.7, 2 tenths off Louis line, and he's in the bottom zone, so that lap time needs improving. On board with the championship protagonist. Gonna be a neat lap from Nathan as he makes his way now towards the final corner. Locks up on entry. That's a decent exit from him, and let's see where he can go. This lap time will be a 1:27.7. He goes P2. As Harvey Lees has gone for another out lap. Hopefully that's not the same set of tyres. No, it's not. Yeah, it is the same set of tyres. You don't want to use 2 sets if you can help it, because you need them for Q3. So he's gone for another lap. Maybe it's an exploratory lap time from Harvey Lees. But good job from Adam Dixon to get himself into P8 there. We didn't see his lap, but he's behind. He's ahead of his teammate by 300s. Steiny then. Steiny definitely needs to improve. He's lost 7 thousandths in the first sector as the McLaren driver. He finished on the podium last time round, and he's currently in the danger zone. And thankfully, he's got his teammate to help him with the slipstream. As we come into the dual chicane, very easy to validate it on the entry because you want to take the curb but not too much of it. Oh no, talk about taking too much curb. He has done it, and he's validated it, so he backed out. That he could have improved, and sadly all that hard work has gone down the drain. And what will Harvey Lees do? That's why Harvey Lees is out there. He's out there to help his teammates, so that explains everything. So Mark's retired, Ferg's retired, both racing points looking very comfortable in P3 and P4. Louis Ladd's in the drop zone. I don't know if he's just gone for a lap. He was 5 tenths down in the first sector, so he has gone for a lap, and I think he's just made a mistake. Cartboy's in the drop zone. He's improved by 2 tenths in the middle sector. This 2 tenths is crucial because the tie is so, the pack is so tight. So 2 tenths could put you up loads of positions. So he's in P18, it makes his way towards the final corner. And let's see where the Haas driver can go. This lap time will put him in P15. He's lost a tenth in that last sector, so he's in danger. And look at that. Well, I've been told to report people, and yeah, I think you're going to get a slap on the wrist for that one. Steiny's gone for another lap then. His first sector is down in the first sector, but I expect it being on older tyres. You can see his teammates ahead of him, giving him another slipstream, so Harvey Lees is not going for a second flyer lap. But I wonder what Carboy's doing. Hopefully you don't disturb Steiny, because that is rather off-putting. Nice entry, and let's see how he does it. Yep, doesn't invalidate this time, so it's nice and tidy from Steiny. And his middle sector, what's he going to be? He's 400s up in the middle sector. Now that's not going to be enough to get himself in Q3. He needs to find another Q2. Needs to. Oh no, Steiny hasn't validated it, and I dare say he is out of qualifying because I don't think he can go for another run. So our last week's podium sitter, has been knocked out. Can't go for another run because of his fuel, and sadly for him, he's been knocked out. That's a massive shame for Steiny. I know the pressure. It's a really frustrating track. It's very easy to make mistakes of a validate. And Krishna, well, his best time has gone as fitter. Yeah, he's on a brand new set of soft tyres as he makes his way towards the final corner. Let's see where he can go. Can he get himself out of Q1? Yes, he can. He goes up into P10. That 2 tenths has put him from P18 to P10. That's how close this grid is. Here's Louis Ladd. He's he's up in the middle sector, so he's found some pace. He's found some time, but is it going to be enough to ensure his safety into Q2? Cartboy is knocked out. Foul Fury's on the cusp. In fact, Cartboy is knocked out because he's in the pits, so he will not go for another lap. But Indian Jesus has just pushed out Foul Fury. Foul Fury is knocked out of qualifying 1 unless he's on a lap time and can get himself back into Q2. We're on board with Louis Ladd as he takes a lot of steering input into that penultimate corner. I haven't seen Louis Ladd for quite a while on the podium. And where could he go? He goes P13, so he's pushed Indian Jesus. Nemo, there he is. His middle sector, he's a 10th up. All he needs to do now is not to validate it. Here comes Indian Jesus. I meant Jeroen Visser. Indian Jesus has been knocked out of Q2 unless he's on a lap time and can get himself back in there. Where can the Dutchman go? It goes P1. ISO Knight has been knocked out, sadly for him. Indian Jesus has been knocked out, and so has Nemo still on a lap time. He could push Het Bompje out, but is Het Bompje on a lap? Yes, he is. He's improved in the first sector, has Het Bompje. So down to Nemo now. Where could he go? It's P8, so he's definitely safe, I dare say. And where's the Renault driver? Oh, there he is. We're on board with him. But sadly, he's in Q2, so he's safe. Duval's on the cusp of getting knocked out. got a lot of traffic, and he gets on the curb and he loses the back end, and that's going to cost him a lot of time. He's P14. Louis Ladd has not evaluated, is not improved. What about Het Bompier? Can he push Louis Ladd out of Q2? He's the only driver that can knock him out. Makes his way around the final corner. Can the Dutchman get inside Q2? Is it enough to ensure his safety? Can he do it? Yes, he can. He goes P6, so Louis Ladd has been knocked out, sadly for him. And let's look at the gap difference, shall we? 1 second between 1st and 20th. Unbelievable. Look at that. 5 tenths between 1st and 18th. That's mega, especially around this track. Oh, it's a massive shame for Steiny being knocked out of Q1. Just not his track, is it? It's not my cup of tea either. Oh well, he's got plenty of tyres to play with, safety cars to gamble with. Look at the gap between Duval and Louis Ladd. 2,000 separated by those two. I bet Louis Ladd is definitely going to be frustrated. Indian Jesus too, and Cartboy down in P18 and the Haas. His teammate is in P6, so we've got one Haas in Q out of Q1, and the other one made it through. Ice-Roll Knight, we've seen him made a big mistake coming into turn 7, and he is knocked out. He outbroke himself and went off the track, and that's his lap time over. So Q1 is over, and we move on to the next session then. So Jeroen Visser only beat Harvey Lees by 2 thousandths, 27.7 from the top 3. It's so tight. Farrell Fury's in P5, so he got himself up a lot of positions, because he was almost on the verge of getting knocked out of Q1 until he put that lap in. Yeah, it's just, look at that. 1 thousandths apparently between Duval and Louis Ladd. Louis Ladd would not like to see that. But it's worrying for Duval because he's in P15 and not good enough for him, so he needs to find more pace to try and get himself in Q3. Any surprises? Not really, no surprises except Steiny, Indian Jesus, Louis Ladd. I don't expect him to get knocked out of Q1, but I don't know how much practice he's done, or he has returned back to whatever he was doing. So welcome back, Louis Ladd. I don't know. Yeah, we'll go on to Q2. So you know what Q2 is then. 15 minutes in this session, and this is the session where it determines what tyres you will start on. Tyres, the lap you set your fastest tyre on. The tyre you set your fastest lap on, sorry. That's the tyre you'll start on in the top 10. Outside the top 10 could start whatever tyres they want to. Preferably you want to be on the mediums, but I know some people will switch over to the softs so they can get themselves in Q3. But the softs is generally not a good tyre around here. It wears out so easily and quickly. So everybody wants to get themselves in Q3 on the medium compound tyre. But I know some people will switch over to the softs, and that to start their laps in Q2. I didn't read out the rest of the championship standards, did I? So Farrell Fury 12th place, he's 1 point behind Very. Steiny's in P13 after getting the podiums, moved himself up, and he's 9 points behind Farrell Fury. Danny Boy P14, Strauss is in P15. Troy A, only doing 2 races, is in P16, 1 point behind Strauss. Het Bompier down in P17, not really a place I expect Het Bompier to be, because his pace recently has been quite decent. Krishna P18, Elite Dave in P19, and Isaro Cohen with only 4 points to his name. Cohen's a really quick driver, so I expect him to be get more points than that, but he does make mistakes though very easily, so hopefully he can sort himself out with that one. Maybe it's just the pressure, maybe he's just getting on the throttle way too early, who knows, but Cohen's got some decent pace on him, and we all know he could be a real threat in the race. He just makes those little mistakes, but it's cost him a lot. So the first driver out of the track is Bompia, and he's on the medium compound tyres, the tyres you want to start on in the race. I wonder what other people are doing in the pit lane. Are just waiting for the track to rubber in, evolve more, or heat up. Or will it be sunny in Q3? Will the track start heating up? So Bompia then, a driver who qualified in the top 5 at the Spanish Grand Prix. I think he had a good qualifying in the race, but I think he didn't have any problems. It's just the pace and the wrong tyres really. I think he still finished in the points. He had amazing. He had a bad result in Spain because when he came into the pits, the virtual safety car was deployed as well, and when the virtual safety car ended, he made a mistake on those hard compound tyres, and he hit the wall at the exit of turn 8 on those cold hard tyres. He was very frustrated, but I would be too, being in the points position. So then, he'll take us around the French Grand Prix on the medium compound tyres. And let's see what Bompia could do then as he makes his way across the line to start his first flying lap. Nobody coming out the pit lane, interestingly. Now there is. Red Bull's coming out. First corner, take a lot of curbs. So does the second corner. Use the curb at the exit. Nicely into turn 1 and turn 2. And now we make our way to turn 3. Use the curb at the entry and on the exit entry to turn 4. Want to avoid it in turn 5. Use all of the road. 22.1 in the first set. To short shift in here through the traction zone is really crucial to do that, because it's very easy to lose the car traction. DRS wide open for the straight. This is where you'll see the overtaking opportunities. Heavy braking zone coming up. Use the curve of the entry. Use part of it here too, a lot of it. Bit of a wobble on going out of that corner, but not too bad for him. It's going to be a 49.4 in that middle sector for Bompia. Make his way through the fast right-hander, flat out through there. Minimum steering angle as much as you can, because you don't want to scrub off any speed through there. It'll cost you a lot of time. This corner, I've seen some people take it down to 4th gear as well, so he took it through 5th. I think there's multiple ways of taking that corner. You want to avoid the curb, because we see other people lose the rear end of that car. You don't want to get that curb whatsoever. Just like the Hungarian GP in turn 6. But not as lethal as that one. Coming towards the last corner, short shift on the exit to get traction. DRS is open, and let's see what the first lap time is going to be like. Could be a 28. It's a 28.9 from Bompia, so that's the benchmark everybody has to beat. And we've got some people on the right laps too. Krishna is starting his flying lap. Here he is, then making his way to turn 1. Took the curb out with him. Now through turn 2. Fast flowing through there, so that was a very good turn 1 and turn 2. Now coming through turn 3 using the curb, and through this one a little bit fast into there, might compromise him just a bit. Short shifting his way up to 3rd gear, now 4th. You can see he don't want to use full throttle. I think he just drifted a bit wide there, because I think he had understeer coming through there, or just carried too much speed, which cost him to go wider than he would have wanted. Now coming into the heavy braking zone into turn 7. Use the curb of the entry. Got a bit deep though into the first part of it, into the dual chicane, but got away with it. You want to use all of the curb of the entry and all the curb of the next corner too. 49.7 in the middle sector from him. Flat out through this corner, minimum steering angle. Don't want to scrub off any speed whatsoever. Drift out wide, then come back in, slingshot your way out of that corner. This one here, want to rotate the car, and I think he. That seemed very interesting the way he took that corner, Krishna. He made it work though. For 1 second I thought he went in too early in that corner. What's the word? A cute angle instead of going out wider than he would have the preferred line. Krishna then makes his way towards the finish line. It's 29.0. He's under a 10th away, so not too bad from Krishna. We've still got the 28.9 to beat, which is set by Bompia. And Harvey Lees has invalidated on his flying lap. Farrell Fury is out there. He's also invalidated it. So the pressure started to really come in, because you don't want to go with the soft compound tyres what you do. As we go on board with Dual then, through turn 2. We've got more and more drivers coming out of the track as well on their outlaps. So Very, Cohen and Feral Fury are on the soft compound tyre. Majority drivers have gone on the medium compound tyres. Only 3 drivers opt to go for the softs, but they can change onto the mediums later. As we come to the dual chicane. Don't know why they call it the dual chicane. Right, let's see what his middle sector is going to be like then, and that's going to be a 49.7 from dual. Flat out through this corner here. Very easy indeed. Now coming through right-hander, double right-hander. Want to go out wide to get a really good exit. Use the engine braker to rotate the car, get back on the power. A little bit of a twitch there, but that won't affect him too much. But not ideal as we come to the penultimate corner, which leads instantly to the final corner. Traction is crucial here as well. DRS open, and let's see where the Frenchman can go. He will go in P3 with a 29.1. Right, who's next to cross the line? It's going to be a Renault. Renault on a flying lap. The racing point is next to cross the line, and that is Mark, or is it Ferg? Which one is it? It is Ferg, so let's see what lap time he could do then in the racing point as a lock up into the final corner. And let's see what lap time he could do then. Will this take him to the top of the table? And it will, with a 28.6. And the next racing point is going to start their flying lap. The Alfa Romeo is next to cross the line, and I think that's AJ starting his flying lap. No, it's not. Who is it? Is it Jeroen Visser? Yeah, Jeroen Visser go for a second flying lap. Where's Fury? Fury's in the pits, so he was on the soft compound tyres initially, but he switched over, or is he switching over? Yeah, he switched over to the medium compound tyres. He's already done 1 lap on those tyres so far. I don't remember him going out. Maybe he did that lap on the mediums, I don't know. I validated it. I think I was on the wrong graphic. We've got an AlphaTauri next to cross the line, and Troye has gone up to P5 with a 29.1. And the Red Bull driver is next to set a lap time. Or is it an AlphaTauri? Who is it? Is it Dixon? Dixon coming across the line. It's going to be a 36.7, so he definitely needs to improve on lap time by 10 seconds. Heading through turn 1 and turn 2. You want to take it 5th gear through there. And now coming through turn 3, down to 4th gear and 3rd gear on the entry. And somebody's just moved up a place. That's Very. Very's got a good lap time in. And that is 2nd place from the Renault driver. It's a 28.5. Is it? No, it's 9. Sorry, my eyesight is getting terrible. And he's 3/10 away from CRL Ferg. Very promising lap from the Renault driver. I wonder if somebody's made a mistake coming out of the corner. And that is Ferg who... Nah, he's safely through. He's slowing down. Jeroen Visser is going to go P3 behind Mark. It's a racing point 1-2 as Mark has gone P2, so Jeroen Visser slots into P3. Whereas Harvey Lees is on an hour lap on the medium compound tyres. Yes, he is. Herr Bompier looks like he's fiddling over to the soft compound tyres because it says on the graphic he's gone to them, so I might wonder if he's going to keep an eye on everybody and see if he's going to go on a brand new set of the soft compound tyres to ensure his safety at Q3, because everybody wants to start on the mediums, but sadly, or everybody can't make it through Q3, so they're going to have to go on a soft compound tyre. Track position is really crucial around here, as the AlphaTauri of Adam Dixon has just gone P4. He's done 2 laps on those set of medium compound tyres. You don't want to be doing too many. So we're on board with the Alfa Romeo. There's Jeroen Visser. Hopefully he gets out the way. Bit of a cheeky slipstream from Jeroen Visser. A Ferrari and the Alfa Romeo working together. Where's their teammates? Oh yeah, they got knocked out of Q1, didn't they? Who's AJ's teammate? I can't quite remember. Is it Indian? No, that's Jeroen's teammate. Oh, it's not Louis Lad. Louis Lad's in the Renault. It's ISO Knight. ISO Knight is the other Alfa Romeo, so those two don't have any teammates in Q2. As AJ makes his way towards the line, that's going to be a 28.6, and he's close to Ferg. He's missed out by 28 hundredths. Very close lap times being set on the board there, as we've got more people on their outlaps. Ferg looking very comfortable at the top. So Valve Fury then is on the soft compound tyres, and this, yeah, 2 minutes left to go, so he ain't got a choice to back out because he's not set a lap time in the mediums, so he's going to Q3 on the soft compound tyres. And I did think he did say he was going to go on the softs, so no surprise there, as Cohen is on a lap on the mediums, so this could be his last flying lap. Unless he makes a mistake now, got plenty of fuel to go around again. 21.8 in the first sector. Expect a purple first sector because he's on the soft compound tyres. So I think he should definitely get through on those softs, because everybody, well, except from Dooble's a P10, and Dooble is, well, I don't know if Dooble's retired or not. Has he crashed? I don't know. But Dooble has retired from the session, and he's in P10. Not having a good French GP, is he? Oh yeah, where's Harvey Lees? Harvey Lees has gone P6 boys behind Adam Dixon. Valve Fury getting a bit wide through there. Might cost him a little bit of time. Nathan is well down in P14. He will only have one lap to do his flying lap. If he mucks it up, then he will not make it through to Q3. Final corner for Valve Fury. Can he get himself into the top 10? Should be able to on those softs. And he goes quickest with a 28.0, so no surprise there that he's gone quickest. If this game was like real life, he'd probably get a penalty for speeding on the double yellow flags. Well, Cohen has gone up into P4. That's a good lap time from the Dutchman in P4. Harvey Lees could be on the cusp for elimination here. He's down in P8. Oh, Cohen. Oh, he's mucked that lap up, hasn't he? And he don't want to go in the barriers because he's in Q3. I think he's safe. He's definitely safe. Here's that Bompier on the soft compound tyres, so other people are switching over to the softs, and that's going to worry the likes of Het Bompier, Very, and Harvey Lees, Adam Dixon, possibly Jeroen Visser. I don't think it will affect Jeroen Visser too much. Here's Troye on a lap time on the mediums. Nathan Booth is on a lap time on the medium compound tyres. So qualifying 2 is over. And these lap times will be very crucial. Go on board with Nemo first. Can he get himself in Q3 and on the medium compound tyre? Makes his way towards the final corner now. Apparently, Very's done 3 laps on those medium compound tyres. If he does make it through, he'll be starting on those rather old mediums. And Nemo has not made it through. He has been knocked out, sadly for him. So, qualifying 3, you will not see. Troye has invalidated it, so he will not make it through to Q3. And Krishna's gone P2. Very is on the cusp of elimination unless... no, he's not on a lap time, is he? So, Very then, possibly get knocked out of the top 10 if Het Bompier can improve on those soft compound tyres, which is most likely. Here comes Nathan Booth across the line. P11! The championship contender has not made it through. Het Bompier goes quickest. And that's it. Troye is invalidated it. And Harvey Lees can hold his breath for now because he has just made it through. But Nathan Booth, the championship contender, has been knocked out of Q2. He will not be happy with that one. That's very sad for him. Even worse, the championship rival will be starting on the same tyre as him, so won't make it any better for him. Not like he can go for a longer stint because Ferg, AJ, Cohen, Mark, Jeroen Visser, yeah, those guys will be on the medium tyres too. Difference is we'll have like fresher tyres because they're outside the top 10. So that's a massive shame for Nathan Booth then. Can't remember the last time Nathan got knocked out of Q2, but it's been a while. So the top 3 then on the soft compound tyres were destined to make it through. Ferg in P4, the highest medium runner, and P4 downwards, so 7 drivers on the medium compound tyres. Everybody except the top 3 went on the medium compound tyres. That's a good lap time from Cohen, promising lap time from the Dutchman in P6 on the mediums too. So he's looking rather good, is Israel Cohen. Just needs to keep it up in the next qualifying session. His pace is there. We've seen a glimpse of it, but he just makes these little mistakes, does Cohen. If he can string it all together, he's definitely a threat. It must be said from him. Don't count him out. We move to Q3 then, and I'll take a little bit of a short break before we do. Right, so immediately coming out of the pits is CRL Ferg and Adam Dixon then. So Ferg has overtaken Adam. He'll be the first one to cross the line. And he knows his championship contender. Well, one of them is out of qualifying. The other one is AJ Wuhan, P7, and Harvey Lee's down in P4, P3 there. But his nearest championship rival, nowhere to be seen in Q3. Who is going to take pole position? Can it be CRL Ferg, Jeroen Visser, possibly Harvey? Who else? AJ for sure. What about Mark? Has he got it in him to take pole? We'll have to find out in the next 10 minutes. These qualifying sessions fly by. You can see Ferg using the ERS on his outlap. Is that a really good thing to do? Like use the ERS? Because it does wear out your tyres even more. The amount of power you put in, the amount of demand. You want to have maximum tyre life before you start a flying lap to get the best possible performance out of them. Used ERS on all of that lap as well. You're taking life out of those tyres. Those tyres are sensitive, especially at the French Grand Prix. Ferg rounds the final corner then to start his first flying lap in Q3. Look at that, he's drained the ERS, but that won't matter too much. That could possibly cost him, you know, by a few hundreds, using all the ERS. I've not really seen Ferg do that, but that could possibly cost him. You're losing the extra power on the straight. Anyway, we're coming down into turn 3. Oh, a bit of hesitation on there in turn 3. Looks like he was about to turn in, they just backed out of it because he might have thought he turned a bit too early. 21.8 in the first sector though. Let's see how it goes now. Through turn 7 we go. DRS is enabled for this long straight. We've got our cars ahead of us. That is a racing point ahead of us. They're possibly giving the slipstream down into the next straight. A little bit of hesitation going through there too. He takes a lot of curb, and I don't know how he got away with that one because it did look like he take a lot of curb. There's a 49.8 in the middle sector. As you can see, his teammate giving him the slipstream. Jeroen Visser gets a bit of a, almost came together. Did the racing point of Jeroen Visser? Jeroen Visser didn't do anything wrong, obviously, but obviously his teammate was giving him a slipstream, and he had to get out of the way at some point because he don't want to hold up his teammate. Round in the penultimate corner does Ferg. Has now come to the final corner. And I see him hesitating just a bit on the throttle. Don't want to go too wide because you're going to validate. And let's see what lap time he can set. It's a 27.5 they all have to beat. So who's going to be the challenger then for pole position? Adam Dixon goes P2, 28.0, half a second off of Ferg. Oh, Adam Dixon, where is he? There he is. I thought he made a mistake, but he hasn't. He's just moving out of the way for people. CRL Cohen then in the Williams. Got Alfa Romeo ahead of us, but the Alfa Romeo is about to start his flying lap. Cohen, where can he go? Coming towards the final corner. Nice entry through there. Gets on the power straight away. Rotates the car nicely. DRS is enabled. And let's see what lap time he can set. And this is P2. It's a 27.9 from the Dutchman. He's 4/10 off. Can he find any time to improve that lap time? Harvey Lee's gone P2, so he's a 10th off of Daniel Ferg as the Mercedes driver of CRL Fury. Here he is then, across the line, he's gone P5. I just noticed as well, Ferg is racing on the CRL account instead of Relentless account. So Farrell Fury is called Relentless. And a Red Bull across the line to start his first flying lap as we're on board with Jeroen Visser, our race winner in Baku. He almost got a podium too in the Monza Grand Prix. He finished on the podium 3 times this season, so he's on good form this season as Jeroen Visser. Makes his way towards the final corner, and let's see what the lap time is going to be like for him. It's P1, it's 27.4 from Jeroen Visser. The Dutchman finds himself with a 27.4, and he's currently a 10th ahead of Ferg, just under a 10th. As what else we got on there? We've got Bob P on a lap time, Dan P, no he's not on a lap time. AJ's evaluated his lap time. Krishna on a lap time, we'll go on board with him. His middle sector is going to be a 49.1 in the Red Bull. He did go to P3 and Q2 on those soft compound tyres. Now making his way around the double right-hander. So he's another one to take you through 5th gear there. So Ferg could definitely improve because I did see a few mistakes from him. So he had an oversteer and just gone off the track basically. One of the worst moments. Not really a nice feeling. So all the drivers except Jeroen Visser are in the pit lane. So we'll wait for our second runs. So the drivers that's not set a lap time yet is Het Bompje, AJ, Krishna and Mark. Mark was on good form, but I think he's just evaluated his lap time and just waited to come out. Has got yellow flags in the 3rd sector, that's Jeroen Visser, just going slowly I presume in the pits. So we await drivers coming out of the pit lane and see what they can do. We'll go aboard with Adam Dixon first because he's the first man to do his second flying lap, or about to do his second flying lap. Adam Dixon, not really seen him in the past few races. I don't know if he's due to exams because I know exams are happening, so it could be that, but nice to see him back racing, and he's in Q3, so he's doing a good job so far. He was in the Alfa Romeo to begin with on his debut, also in the Renault, and now he's in the AlphaTauri. I don't know if it's full time in the AlphaTauri against Duwal. Also, Louis Ladd is back too, so nice to see 2 drivers back. What happened to M66? Because I remember him, M66 back. I was wondering because I was watching the old streams and remembered some familiar faces, but they're gone, so I don't know what happened to M66. There's always a driver to keep an eye on him because I remember saying his name a lot in streams. So the AlphaTauri then currently sat in P5 with a 28.0. Can he improve? Can he get closer to the pole time? Here he is then rounding the final corner. Now let's see what the AlphaTauri can do. I presume this comment will be an M66 comment because that's the thing I was talking about. I'll go check it once I get the internet back. Here comes Adam Dixon into turn 1. Nice turn 1, turn 2. Very nice through turn 2 as well. Use the exit on turn 3. And to turn 4 we go. That's not turn 3, that's turn 3. Turn 4 we go. Took quite a bit of speed in, did Adam Dixon. And let's see what his first sector is like. A 21.7, so he's instantly improved by 2/10, so good signs from him. I think he could have found more time in turn 2 because I think he might just, well, I don't know how to describe it, but he didn't really take it how he should have supposed to, should I just say. So more time to be found from him. Let's see what this middle sector is going to be like from him. Can he improve even more? Yeah, well, 2/10. Found a few hundreds, I think. This could possibly put him to P4 if he can find more time in the 3rd sector. There's Jeroen Visser. Hopefully he gets out of the way. This really disrupting the car's performance. Oh, he's almost spun the car. So could that be a factor to why Adam Dixon He was on a really good lap time, and I think he'll be really frustrated with that one. And it's the pit, so has he got enough time to do another lap? 2 minutes 30 seconds left, unless he cuts the whole track, which I'm not suggesting, but well, he's got to do that really, hasn't he? On board with third then, in the Racing Point. We haven't seen his first and middle sector, so has he improved? Racing Point currently in second place. Can he improve on a 27.5? Looks like the rear braking, the rear braking is locking a lot because the back end's just starting to step out a little bit. Ferg makes his way across the line then, and let's see what lap time he can do. Can he get back on pole? Yes, he can, just. And it's a 27.4, so that's the target they'll have to beat. Giroud Vizza has invalidated it, and that's the early part of the lap, so I think he's got plenty of fuel left to go for another run. He's got plenty of time left, but he can't go back in the pits because obviously there's no time left, but he could go for another one if he stays out of track. ICRL Cohen's just got purple in the first sector, so it looks like he's on a decent lap time. Is the Dutchman. What about the other Dutchman? He's coming through turn 3. Krishna across the line goes P5. He's ahead of Adam Dixon, and Adam Dixon will not make it on another lap, so he will stay P6 unless he gets pushed down. Mark has a bad day today. He's got to really push now to go for another lap. I think he's got plenty of time left on the board to do so, but under pressure is Mark. He's doing a good job in Q1 and Q2, but in the later stages of the moments, that's where the pressure starts coming in. Sort of relaxed in Q1 and Q2, but when it comes to Q3, that's when the nerves start jangling. We're on board with Cohen then. We haven't seen his first and middle sector, but we're going to go to the penultimate corner now. Now to the final corner we go. Yellow flags in sector 1. That is a Red Bull slowing down. Is that Krishna? I think he's just on his lap. Yeah, he's slowing down. Where can Cohen go? This lap time is going to be a 1:27.7. He stays in P4. But the thing is, he has improved. Is he going for another one? I think he's going for another one as Cohen, but we'll have to go on board with other people. Whereas Harvey Lee's Cohen is the first corner, and I think that's Giroud Vizza done. Giroud Vizza, yeah, it's done. He can't go for another lap. He's given AJ a slipstream. I wouldn't have done that if I was Giroud. I'll focus on my own qualifying session if I was him. AJ, how on earth did he get away with that one? I thought he took the whole curb there. And this is going to be a 48.6 now. Really crucial not to invalidate because he's down to P9 and has a set of lap time. So this would be his one and only lap time. But looks like Mark has given up the ghost. Yeah, 32.0. That's it for Mark. He'll start P10 and he'll be very frustrated with that lap time. We're on board with AJ Wuhan. Another driver that hasn't set a lap time, but it's about to set one. Coming around the final two corners then. In the rear, you can see the rear just sliding out. Now to the final corner they go. Where can AJ go? He had the slipstream. Can he get on pole? Yes, he can. He's on pole. It's a 27.4, but guess what? It's by 1,000. Unbelievable. Look at that. Is it 1,000? Maybe. But look at that. If they set the exact same lap time, it's got to be 1,000 surely, because Ferg did if they set the exact same lap time, Ferg did it first. And Harvey Lees qualifies in P3, 65,000 away from pole. Giroud is a P4. Het Bompje is in P5 and he's also invalidated his lap time. Mark P10. Relentless Foul Fury down in P9 then has to improve on a 28.4. Where can he go? Can he improve his lap time? It's a 27.8. Goes P7 ahead of Krishna. But AJ Wuhan is on pole position for the French GP ahead of CRL Ferg. Harvey Lees joins the second row, shares it with Giroud Vizza. Those two had contact in the race at Monza. Het Bompje, another stunning qualifying position for him, ahead of his Dutchman, a fellow Dutchman Cohn. Cohn's also done a fantastic job down in P6, so it's a good day for Dutch, but guess what? P5, P4, P5, P6, all Dutch. Foul Fury in P7, Krishna P8, Adam Dixon P9, and Mark, who did not set a lap time. He did, but it's not representative, so he'll start P10. A massive shame for him. That he knows he had more to deliver, but sadly, when it came to the main stages, he just couldn't perform, and he'll start P10. And there it is then. Look at that, top 3, Or 3 British, 3 Dutchmans. Foul Fury P7 ahead of Krishna, Dixon in P9 and Mark in P10. Good job AJ, getting on pole position. It's exactly what he needs. Needs to start making a comeback now on his championship position down in P3. Harvey Lees has done a good job as well down in P3. Giroux is at P4. Het Bompier. It's also a good qualifier for Het Bompier. He's always had good qualifiers, but he just needs to perform in the race. So what is he missing out of? Well, I think he set a lap time on the soft compound tyres in Q2. So the top 4 are on the mediums and 5th place on the softs. So if Het Bompier gets a good start, he could potentially find himself. I think it's a bit optimistic to say he could lead the race, but get himself a P3, P4. M66, I thought he had good pace to be in tier 1, but at least he's still in the league. So yeah, that's something. Formation lap then, we'll go and we'll see what tyres everybody has gone for outside the top 10. Only 3 soft runners in Q3, Het Bompier, Krishna and Relentless Fury. Massive good evening to everybody who's just joined the stream, and yep, we are away for the formation lap. Alright then, so we can see on the tyre graphic, Het Bompier is the highest soft runner down in P5. Hello Sahilo, how are you doing mate? Yeah, for those of you who just wondering why I'm checking the stream on the PS4, I won't be doing that too often. I won't be checking the comments in the race because it will disrupt it. I can't check out my phone because the Wi-Fi is terrible. I would love to check out my phone. So here's the tyre graphic then. So the highest soft runner is Het Bompier. Foul Fury shall I say, down to P7 on the softs ahead of Krishna on the softs. Very is on the hard compound tyres, Nathan's on the hard, so that's what I expected, hard to medium tyres. Iceroll Knight has opted to go on the medium compound tyres, his teammate on the mediums too, P20 and P1. This is going to be a fascinating race. Can Het Bompier gain positions on those soft compound tyres? So can Foul Fury and Krishna. Can Nathan, second place in the championship, down in P12 at the moment, can he finally, or not finally shall I say, but can he get a really good race result here tonight on the hard compound tyres? No mistakes in this race is really important because we've got like 4 or 5 races left in this race. Can't be making any mistakes. Big pressure from Nathan tonight. How will he manage to cope with it? Those guys will be very difficult to overtake, and especially on this track, difficult to overtake too. Hello Strauss, how are you mate? Nice to see you in the stream. You all know that Strauss has just became a father. Well, that was 3 weeks ago, but Strauss is now a father. not racing here tonight, obviously. We wish you all the best luck to be a father. I think you'll be an amazing father. An amazing guy, amazing person, and a racer. So you're definitely going to be an amazing father. Papa Strauss. Wish you the best, mate. Gonna be staying up a lot in the nights. On the way to the grid. Right then, so who's going to get a better start off the line then? AJ has the inside line. Can he get a good launch? You can hear the revs on the cars now. Oh, it's gone. The lights are already gone. That was a quick start. And Ferg gets a much better start than AJ. And he's swamped by the field. Here comes Harvey Lees. He goes down the inside of AJ into turn 1. Krishna has contact at the back. AJ tries to squeeze his way through, but can't quite make it. And here comes Giroux Vizza. He could take on Het Bompje and Icero Fury. AJ's got to watch out because there's 3 cars behind him. Giroux Vizza goes down the inside, gives a bit of a touch between himself and Foul Fury. They go 3 wide again. Icero Fury's not backing out of this one. He's on the soft compound tyres. Why should he back out? Giroux Vizza has got past Foul Fury. Het Bompje gets it out of shape, and that's Foul Fury all over the back of him. So that was a very quick start of the line. I didn't even know the lights went off. Right then, so we all settled down at the moment. Carboy is at the back of the field for whatever reason he's had, whatever issues he's had, but here comes the Red Bull of Krishna then, who had front wing damage at the start of the race. Nemo get a tap from Icero Cohen, but the lights went out super quick, didn't they? And here comes the Red Bull side by side now with the Williams, and Krishna, that's Nemo, getting past Icero Cohen unless Cohen sticks it in there, which he will do. They go side by side again. Yeah, Nemo hanging it around the outside though. Cohen takes his place on the inside. Nathan gets past Ferry. Nathan's dropped back into P13. And Nemo has got past Cohen. Giroux Vizza then in P4 on the medium compound tyres. Het Bompje tried to fight it out with into the pits, goes to Racing Point. Is that Mark? Mark is in the pits then. So he must have had contact with somebody. And things are not going his way. The lights went out very quickly indeed, as Ferg sets the fastest lap. He's got a 6/10 lead over Harvey Lees. Harvey Lees taking out a bollock there, but Harvey Lees then down in P2 after starting in P3. AJ, I wonder if he got caught up by the lights going so quickly. Giroux Vizza down in P4. He's got some pressure with him because he's got Het Bompje behind him on the soft compound tyres, but give it like 3 or 4 laps, then he'll start to drop off on those soft compound tyres. Won't be a threat too much with Het Bompje. Depends how good his tyre life is and tyre saving, but Het Bompje needed a better start from that. He stayed where he started, down in P5. All the soft runners are with each other down in P5, P6 and P7, but I definitely saw some front wing damage from somebody. Was that Krishna? No, it wasn't. I think it was Mark. That's why he pitted. So we've got 3 pitters, which is Icero Knight, CRL Mark and Louis Ladd. But so that Krishna went off the road down at turn 1, so I assumed he had front wing damage off of somebody. But you can see he's fighting with Icero Fury. I meant Foul Fury, sorry. And here comes Het Bompje then, homing in on Giroux Vizza's 4th place. Obviously those soft tyres are still going to be good at this stage of the race, so he's going to stick with him, but in a few laps time his tyres will start to wear out, and that's when the medium runners will start to pull away or gain on him. So Nemo then, he's got his teammate ahead of him on the soft compound tyres. Those two on a different strategy after making it through to Q2 on the soft compound tyres. DRS will be enabled this lap as Harvey Lees has set the fastest lap of this race. Nathan Booth down in P12, so he stayed where he started. He was fighting with Duval and Very, but he managed to clear them both. And he's got Troye in a P11. And Troye is behind Adam Dixon, who's behind Icero Cohen. So Cohen lost out. Cohen started in P6 and now he's down in P9, so he lost out quite a lot at the start of this race. Don't know if he got caught out by the lights going off too late. You can see that Harvey Lees using DRS to get closer to Ferg, but it's very difficult to overtake on this track. And obviously you don't want to use a lot of ERS either, but here comes Krishna then, the first to overtake properly. He goes down the inside of Foul Fury, makes the move stick and gets himself up into P6, but if he goes out too wide, it will allow Foul Fury to come back at him, which he does, and they go side by side now. I think Krishna has the edge, which he does. Krishna moves himself up into P6 this race. Het Bobby is sticking with Giroux Visit, and they're all in that big DRS drain now. So the top 4 are in the medium compound tyres. Het Bobby, the highest soft runner, up there in P5. Not the start he would have wanted. He was trying to make a move into P3, but Giroux Visit and Val Fury were also there with him, so they were 3 wide and he was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. As we move on to lap 4 out of 27 then, anybody close to making an overtake? We've got Val Fury, but Krishna has used, well, he's used a lot of ERS, so that could pay dividends later in the race, because, well, pay dividends to Val Fury because he's saved a lot. If he can stick with Krishna, who's using a lot of ERS and struggling to save it already, then could re-overtake him on the straight if he fails to save. But if Krishna has got himself in DRS range of Het Bompje, and Het Bompje is still homing down in Giroux's 4th place, not done with him just yet, but obviously Giroux Visit using the ERS to pull away on the straight, and he's got DRS for good measure, so it'll be difficult for Het Bompje to get past unless Giroux makes a mistake, which I don't think he will. Anything happening further back? We can see Adam Dixon behind the Williams of Isabel Cohen. The Williams of Choye down in P11. He's got Nathan for company. As our first penalty reward goes to Very. He's got a 3-second time penalty on lap 4, so that's bad sides already. So, what happened to Mark? What happened tonight? And what happened to Louis Ladd? Louis Ladd's return back to racing has not gone well as he would have wanted, but oh well. We've got plenty of races left to make amends. Dixon then put a cone under pressure. As go back to Giroux Visit, getting closer and closer to AJ. They're going to be stuck in that DRS tread a lot, so it's going to be very, very difficult to overtake. As Het Bompje goes wide, and what the hell? Oh, okay, that was quite strange. Whoa, I'm not quite sure what just happened there. That was a very strange move from... Is he in AI mode? I'm not quite sure. What? I'm so... yeah. Has he lagged out of the session? We'll go on board with his teammate Carboy if we get close to him. What's happened to Het Bompje? Nothing. What the hell was that from Het Bompje? What was that? Well, that was very strange from Het Bompje. God knows what was going on there. And here comes iNemo using the ERS, but Val Fury has got the DRS off the Red Bull of Krishna down the inside, and Val Fury sticks it around the outside now to keep ahead of iNemo. iNemo gets a better exit and a better launch coming out the corner. They both go side by side using the ERS, and iNemo has got past Val Fury for P6 then. So, team orders for Red Bull, because look at that, Krishna has used a lot of ERS in comparison to other people. So I wonder, I think Val Fury's pissed this lap because you can see the blue spanner, so I think he'll be coming to the pits on this lap. I want to get off those soft compound tyres. Will he go soft to hard? That was a bit of a risk, wasn't it? And into the pits he goes. No, he doesn't. I thought that tells you that the driver's coming to the pits, but it doesn't. Harvey Lee's still keeping third for company, who's bringing along AJ and Giroux Visit. AJ will be absolutely frustrated being in P3 after starting on pole position, as Nathan Lees has set the fastest lap of the race. He's down in P10, and Adam Dixon right all over the back of Isabel Cohen. Cohen is fighting Fury. You can see Val Fury sliding all over the place on those ever old and dying soft compound tyres. Look at that, you can see he getting much better grip out there, and I dare say he will overtake him on this lap, on this corner. Yes, he will. And Adam Dixon will follow him. Can he take 2 for 1? Further ahead, Harvey Lees versus Ferg. I didn't even know that was coming, and Ferg stays ahead of Harvey Lees for P1. And Cohen has stayed ahead of Adam Dixon, though he did take it 2 for 1, but both Red Bulls have switched positions. And I'm very sorry I missed the battle between Harvey Lees and Ferg. I wasn't expecting that whatsoever, but you can see both drivers using a lot of ERS to try and fight each other. This is very interesting between those two. Harvey Lees looking for his first win of the season. He's got podiums, but he hasn't got a win yet. And you can see then Adam Dixon behind Cohen. Nathan has just got past his teammate for P9. Yeah, very wise thing to do from Foul Fury. There's no need to fight the inevitable. Let his teammate go and hold up the holders behind him. Is Troy got front wing damage? No, he hasn't. I thought he did, but the dark shade of the Williams front wing. Foul Fury into the pits he goes. Adam Dixon all over the back of Cohen. I wonder if Cohen struggled just a bit now on race pace. His qualifying pace is quite good, but when it comes to the race, he struggles just a bit. So Adam Dixon then right behind him as he makes his way to turn 1. Now through turn 2 they go in the dirty air. It's going to be quite difficult to stay in contact, but gets a bit out of shape with that turn 2. That's allowed Nathan to be even closer. We'll go back to the top 4 because those 4, look at that. This is a big battle for the lead now between Ferg, Harvey, AJ and Jeroen Visser. AJ looking for redemption after having a horrible race in Monza. Harvey Lee is looking for his first win of the season. And Ferg are looking to extend his championship in the lead, and Jeroen Visser also to try to get his second win of the season. Adam Dixon has got past Israel Cohen and he moves himself up into P6 then, so he's finally got past him. And can he start closing in on iNemo on those medium compound tyres? Nathan, the highest hard runner, down in P8. He's next to trying to overtake Cohen. Het Bompier though is still on those soft compound tyres, and he's behind Cartboy, so I wonder when he's going to start to pit, because the only soft runner in this race. Now we did see him make that mistake. Well, I say mistake, I don't know what happened. So Het Bompier then behind Cartboy, fighting for P14, sorry. Both Hassers fighting each other. You can see a big DRS train now started to perform behind Adam Dixon. Can he pull a 1 second gap over Cohen? We've got Nathan right behind us too. Can't quite make move into turn 1 there, so Nathan stays behind Cohen. It looks like Cohen's struggled just a bit on those medium compound tyres. We go back to the front because they're very close to each other. We did see Harvey Lee's tried to make a move into turn 1. Looks like Harvey has got much better pace than Ferg at this point, but bearing in mind he's using quite a lot of ERS and he's in the DRS zone of Ferg. Look at that, it looks like he's about to make another move, and here comes Harvey Lee's down the inside. He needs to outbrake Ferg, but Ferg outbrakes himself, allows Harvey to come back around the outside. No, he doesn't, he cuts him off and he doesn't go down the inside of that corner, so Ferg claims his racing line and stays ahead of Harvey Lee's. But the problem for Harvey, he's used a lot of ERS, and if he keeps using too much ERS, that'll allow AJ and Jeroen Visser. But Jeroen Visser has dropped back just a bit, but he's still in the DRS range of AJ. There's a bit of a twitch coming out of turn 12 there. Yeah, so Harvey Lee needs to try to save some ERS later in the race because he's used quite a lot in lap 8 already, trying to hunt down Ferg. He doesn't want Ferg to get away. He needs to break his momentum, break his spirit, and try and hunt him down, take him down for the lead. Right, then we move on to lap 9 out of 27. And what's going on behind? Cohen is still in the DRS range behind Adam Dixon, so it's not exactly that Adam Dixon's pulled away like I thought he would, because I thought he had better pace than Cohen, but still, it's very easy to stay in the slipstream with somebody, especially having... Oh, Cohen will get a warning for that one, so any more exceeded track limits will definitely get a penalty. But AJ then, right behind Harvey Lee's. As you can see, the sun is starting to come out. Looks like Harvey could be a bit under pressure here, because he has drained a lot of his ERS. He needs to be tactical when to overtake Ferg, because you know it's not easy overtaking somebody around this track. And Het Bompier is finally in the pits to change his tyres onto the hard tyres he goes, and he'll do a one stop from soft to hard. That big DRS train is not helping those guys behind, and it's starting with... In fact, Adam Dixon is closing in on iNemo. iNemo's got more than double the ERS compared to Adam Dixon, so he's using that ERS to try and close in, and he's in the DRS range now of iNemo, so he could be the leader of this DRS train. Steiny right behind Very for P11, and AJ ever closing in on Harvey Lee's. Needs to be patient when to overtake Ferg, because he has had 2 goes, I believe, and none of them have worked out so far, so needs to pick the right moment. that corner you can go side by side with. You can pull up, go side by side. He needs to outbrake him. As Isaro Cohen, like I mentioned before, he has got a 3-second time penalty on lap 10. As into the pits goes Cohen. Is that Cohen? Yes, he's in the pits already. So lap 10 out of 27. He is gone in the pits. But AJ is right behind Harvey Lees. It's just a matter of time when AJ will overtake him. I dare say AJ's got much better pace than the two in front. They're still keeping Giroud Visser in contact with them. Oh, AJ going deep there. He's going very wide with the understeer. He's picking up in the dirty air of Harvey Lees. Now he's applying his ERS. Harvey has to defend and attack. He probably used too much of his ERS to try and close in on Ferg on both failed attempts. And Harvey Lees stays in P2. This is a very interesting close fight between those guys. Steiny, his teammate, hasn't got past Very yet. He's been threatening to make a move, but that DRS train has not been helping him. He's at the back of the DRS train, so not helping him whatsoever. Adam Dixon is now outside the 1 second range of DRS. So is Cohen. So is Nathan. But obviously he had to fight with Cohen, who's just gone into the pits. So I wonder if he's trying to do the undercut and trying to get on the hard compound tyres and get out of that dirty air to try and do some good laps. But saying that though, he is behind Fury. So he has got some dirty air ahead of him, which is Fury. But obviously be much quicker. The top two have pitted. So they both pit. In fact, everybody's the top three have pitted. AJ has decided to stay out for one more lap of this race. Het Bompier has picked up a 3 second time penalty. And this is going to be very interesting. Yellow flag set to 3. That's Het Bompier, who's just crashed into the wall. And that's a very strange place to crash, because you don't see many people crashing there. Isaro 9 gets a 10 second time penalty for exceeding track limits. I wonder what he's doing, because oh, it's Het Bompier, sorry. Het Bompier's got a 10 second time penalty. And Het Bompier, I don't know if he's just drove straight to the wall, because you know that's not really a mistake. That happens often. It's usually in the wet conditions you spin there, but in the dry conditions it's rather easy, so I don't know how he's just done that. He's on a brand new set of the hard compound tyres. Maybe the tyres weren't warmed up properly, and into the pits he goes for another miserable race, it must be said, from the Dutchman. So much potential from him, but he just keeps making these little mistakes. I say little, that was a big one, but these mistakes keep costing him big points. That's why, oh, he's retired. That's it for him. He's retired from the session, and he will no longer take part, so that's sad from him. Harvey Lees is outside the 1 second range of DRS from Ferg, so he needs to close in and try and get in that DRS range, because he's got Giroud Visser behind him, and Giroud Visser has got more ERS compared to him, so he needs to have a bit of protection by getting himself in that 1 second range of DRS Ferg has pulled away from. So he's looking very safe and comfortable at the moment. The only thing that could ruin their race is a safety car, as into the pits come Adam Dixon and AJ Wuhan. Nathan will take over this lead. No, Nemo will, because he hasn't pitted yet on those medium compound tyres. So this is looking very, very interesting then. The hard runners will come through and lead this race, heading on to lap 12. The safety car needs to come out at the right time for them, those hard runners, probably about lap 15, 16. It's definitely, I think it's definitely hard to mediums. Some people have done soft to hard, hard to soft, but the strategy is definitely mediums to hards or hards to mediums. They're in that big DRS train. Where is AJ? He has split it. Look, he's got past Harvey Lees, so he split the two leaders from the beginning. Looks like AJ has got a better pace. Now he can start closing in on the lead and get back to first place where he would wanted to be after losing out at the start of the race by Harvey Lees and oh, Knight's retired, but Knight's retired in the pit lane, so the safety car won't be out. Big shame for Knight and Bompier. AJ closing in on Ferg ahead of him. AJ looking very, very comfortable with the pace he has. You can sit behind him and overtake him at the right moments. Giroud Visser, he must be very frustrated, because he's the back of this train here, the back of the lead, it must be said. It's very difficult for him to overtake, because the guys ahead of him have all got DRS. And the track's difficult enough to overtake as it is, so he's really in a bad place there, is Giroud. This is what I keep talking about, DRS train here, not really helping the drivers out. Nemo stayed out there, so he's going longer on those medium compound tyres. I wonder how long he'll stay out there. Bearing in mind he did start outside the top 10, so he's going to go further than AJ because he had better tyres at the start, it must be said. So Nemo is leading the French Grand Prix. He's got a 1.3 second gap over Nathan Booth on those hard compound tyres. He started P12 in this race, did Nathan. Now he's in P2. He's got a bunch of cars behind him, which contain Troye, Duel, Very and Steiny. Steiny still hasn't got past Very. It must be very frustrating for him because he's been threatening it a lot in this race. I guess he's got more pace than him, but he just can't quite make the move, can he? He's at the back of this DRS train, so it's going to be very hard to make a move, it must be said. So it looks like it's going to be AJ versus Ferg this time, not Harvey Lees. Looks like Harvey Lees is looking to defend from Jeroen Vizard, but Harvey Lees has finally saved some ERS, so he's managing to save his ERS more effectively now and using it when he's supposed to. Cohen has still not got past ISRL Fury. Adam Dixon well ahead of Cohen, but Cohen is still behind Fury. 3 laps younger the tyres are, and Nemo has finally pitted. Into the pits he goes, and he will go on the hard compound tyres. Cohen was fighting Adam Dixon and Nemo, but ever since he came out of the pit lane he's been stuck behind ISRL Fury, so Fury's done a good job to hold his ground. And AJ still keeping ahead of Harvey Lees. AJ 5/10 behind Ferg. Fury still defending from Cone, and here comes Nemo. He's rejoined behind Adam Dixon. Adam Dixon has done the undercut, but bearing in mind Nemo's gone longer on those medium compound tyres, so his tyres are fresher, it must be said. We expected that, but not bad pace from Nemo on those medium compound tyres. He's joined just behind Dixon on a brand new set of those hards, so he can start closing him in and overtaking him for the net P5. Meanwhile, out in the net lead of this race, AJ still in second place behind Ferg. I think he's just taking his time when to overtake him, because you don't want to overtake him too very quickly, because you don't want to drain the ERS and be vulnerable on the next straight. So just biding his time, just waiting for the right opportunity. But it must be said, AJ's pace is amazing. So he managed to jump Harvey Lees in the pit lane and get himself into a net P2. Closest half runner is 4.7 seconds behind, as Troye is the first half runner to pit. Interesting, lap 14 out of 17. He could definitely go to the end of those tyres, because we've seen Nemo do 13 laps on those set of medium compound tyres. So I wonder if he's just trying to do the undercut, as Cartboy is also in the pit lane too. There he is then at the end of the pit box, and the medium tyres goes on. AJ under massive pressure from behind. He's got AJ, he's got Harvey Lees, he's got Jeroen Vizard there too. So Ferg is not exactly pulling away and having it on his own, is he? He's got some company behind him. Paul Old Steiny still behind Very. I think if Very drops out of the DRS zone, I dare say Steiny will definitely overtake him, but he can't quite do it. And he's smart enough not to use the ERS either, because the ERS drains quite quickly around this track. It's quite hard to save the ERS too. Indian Jesus down there in P5. He's 5 seconds away from Steiny. And AJ still behind, as Nemo then has made the move on Adam Dixon. And is that Cohen finally getting past Fury? Yes, it is. Cohen has finally made the move about 4 laps later than he should have. But he's finally got past him. Here comes Troye on the Williams. This should be easier compared to Cohen, because he's on the medium compound tyres as Troye. And he's made his way past the Irishman for P14. What would the Williams team do? Because they're both on different strategies. Cohen's on older tyres and the hardest tyres. I wonder if he'll let his teammate go, because obviously he's quicker at this stage of the race. What would those two do? Will Cohen help his teammate? Will he cooperate in team orders, I wonder? Are those two in the party? obviously it's costing Troye because he's using the ERS to try and pass Cohen, and Cohen moves out the way. iNemo sets the fastest lap in the Aston Martin as Nathan then rejoins in P11. He's rejoined behind Troye, so Troye has done the undercut on Nathan, and guess what? He's got the mediums in between. He's got the Williams in between him too. So Nathan's got a car to overtake then to try and get up to Troye. But if Cohen keeps cutting those corners, he'll get more penalties. So Cohen's got to stop doing that. He's already got like 2 penalties to his name already. AJ 2 tenths behind Ferg and doesn't make the move down into turn 7. So stays behind him as Harvey Lees outbrakes himself. And guess what? Here comes Nathan then down the inside. He needs to make this move as quick as he can. He outbrakes him and does the move nice and cleanly. And now Troye's target is Adam Dixon. Adam Dixon is on the hardcore power tyres. This is shaping up to be a really good race here as AJ is crawling all over the back of Ferg. Really putting big pressure on him tonight in this race. This French GP went better than I expected. And Troye is all over the back of Adam Dixon. What could Nathan do on those brand new set of medium compound tyres? Only 2 retirements which come from Het Bobpia and ISO Knight. Must be really frustrating being stuck in the DRS train. He can't end here. He's on the medium compound tyres. We expect him to make big progress on those fresher medium tyres, the moderate tyres of the 3 compounds. And he's used a lot of ERS and he set the fastest lap of the race. And down the inside he goes into turn 1, but the AlphaTauri sticks it around the outside, who has the inside line for turn 2. But Troye has the outside line and takes it. But Nathan takes the opportunity and instantly gets into P9 ahead of Adam Dixon. No messing around here. And the 2 Red Bulls have swapped positions. That's well, not yet anyway. Krishna is still ahead of his teammate. But here comes AJ. And we've got a change in leadership, folks. And down the inside he goes into turn 7 and he takes the lead of this race, or the net lead shall I say, because Duble's still out there. iNemo gone down the inside of Krishna. He should have made it too hard for him because they're both on different strategies, so there's no need to fight whatsoever in the Red Bulls because he's got Troye behind him. iNemo's fight is with Troye because Krishna is on the old medium compound tyres. So Troye needs to, Krishna needs to do a big favour behind. Keep Troye behind him. Oh, don't do that. You don't want to be doing that because that'll put a driver off, and that's quite dangerous to do that. As Troye slips his way through on Krishna, they're still side by side. They're still side by side to the next corner. He has the outside line with better grip. He pushes him. He wheel bangs him too. They're still side by side as we go into the medium, into the penultimate corner. Troye has the inside line into the final corner. He sticks it around the outside still. This is holding up Nathan a lot. It's holding up Troye too. Troye has the DRS off, and so does Krishna. Krishna is not backing out of this. He is fighting all the way down to the wire as we go down into turn 1. Will Krishna go down the inside? No! He spins! They both spin! They both spin! Oh! Big contact again! Oh! That should not have happened. That should not have happened. As Steiny then, he overtakes Nathan. I think that's Farrell Fury, so I think Nathan's safe at the moment. And Kuhn is behind Adam Dixon. They're both fighting for position as Farrell Fury has got past Ferry. So Steiny has finally got past Ferry. It took him a while, but he's finally done it. Back at the front though, Ferg does not make a move on AJ, but Harvey Lees has closed in on Ferg, so he's on a massive pressure intake today. This is really shaping up to be an amazing race. It has been so far. And oh yeah, breaks himself, but still makes the corner, and he stays, and he makes his way up into P11. And here comes Steiny all over the back of Cohen for P9. Cohen has run out of ERS, so he's vulnerable on the straight. Adam Dixon there, down in P8. And he stays ahead. So Steiny will have to wait. Oh no, he's going to go down the inside. That's a bit risky because you don't expect somebody to slip down the inside of there in a tight corner, do you? So not really tight, but he had the racing line, and you don't want to barge your way through there because you'll cost himself a lot of time. So backs out of it wisely. He knows Cohen is draining his ERS with the flashing light off the back of the car, so he needs to stay behind him till the next lap. Use that ERS, get past him, and his next target is Dixon on the hard compound tyres. This race is going to be shaping up to be a mega one. iNemo then. He's got Nathan behind him. Nathan on a fresh set of the medium compound tyres, looking to make his way back after starting in P12. Looking better at this stage of the race is Nathan. You can see the top 4 in front of us there. Look at that, the top 4 fighting for the lead. This is going to be absolutely amazing. Keep an eye on it, folks. We'll stay on board with Ferg. As you can see, AJ getting out of the slipstream there. AJ still got a good amount of ERS to defend from Ferg, but Ferg, as you know, staying behind AJ, using the ERS wisely, tactically as well, because... And here Nathan down the inside of iNemo, so it did take long for him to get past iNemo, and he's up into P6 on the medium compound tire. Oh! Contact between Cohen and Steiny! I think Cohen... I don't know, was he down the inside or was he around the outside? But Cohen has spun. Oh, Cohen, that's another big incident you've been involved with. You can't be making too many of those, mate. You got big potential, Kuhn. Big potential. You know you do, but you just keep making these mistakes, mate. Oh, you could score big points tonight, could the Dutchman, but these little mistakes have cost him a lot. As Dewalt pits, and on the soft compound tyres too, so watch out for him in the later stages of this race, being on the softest tyre. And there's no safety cars in this race, might jinx it now, but here comes Ferry. And guess what? Steiny spent the whole first part of the race trying to get past Ferry, and now he's been overtaken by him. So Steiny will be frustrated with that one, because he spent the whole bloody first part of the race trying to get past him. Now he's been overtaken by him. Is that Williams coming through? Yes, it is, but he's trying to come through. Here comes Dewalt. He's got past Steiny, already getting past one driver. Here comes Troye down the inside into turn 5. Gives a bit of a shove to Fury, but Troye then moves himself up into P11, ahead of Foul Fury. And here comes Dewalt then. And that's an easy move, it must be said. This is a mega race indeed. Can't wait to see how it turns out. Here is Ferg then. I expected a boring French Grand Prix, but it's actually turned out to be a mega race, as we did in Monza, Spain as well. They've all been good races, but I expected France to be a bit boring with the track layout, but it's actually been quite fun and enjoyable to watch, hasn't it, Braden Barker? Anyways, Very, what can he do now? He's still got Steiny behind him. I wonder if Steiny picked up from wind damage. Yeah, explains it. Steiny has picked up from wind damage off of Cohen, so that explains why he's dropped pace. And now he's got Troy in the back of him. That's a massive shame. When he comes to pits in this lap, no he won't, he stays out, but that'll allow the guys behind to get closer and closer. So sadly for Steiny, he's picked up from wind damage from the incident with Isaro Cohen. Ferg all over the back of AJ, the top 6 have not got a penalty, and Harvey Lee's all over the back of Ferg, Jeroen Visser all over the back of all 3 of them. This is going to be an exhilarating, exciting race. Don't go anywhere, because anything could happen in this race. And there it is then, looks like Ferg will make a move on AJ, and yep, there it is, changing leadership for the 3rd time in this race. Now AJ is going to have to do the same thing. He's got 6 laps left in this race, as Dewalt has overtaken Dixon before the Dewalt chicane. The Frenchman on a recovery drive in P7. Carboy has overtaken Foul Fury for P12. He started P18 in the Haas, and now he's got himself back up into P12. So scored some points in the Haas, where his teammate retired from this race. What we got going on further behind? Oh, Indian G's got past Foul Fury, so Foul Fury's dropping on those old hard compound tyres. He did pit rather early in this race, must be said. Well, obviously, because he started on the soft compound tyres, that's why. That's what happens when you start on the soft compound tyres. You drop further back, and somebody did say that. You can see Steiny just dropping further and further back on with that full wind damage. Here comes Cop, but oh, that was dangerous, wasn't it? That was so close to being contact. And here comes Indian Jesus then, slipping his way through Steiny. Must be painful for him. Anyways, we'll go back to the front. Has Ferg pulled enough away to cover the attack from AJ? I wonder if AJ had. I wonder if Ferg's got better pace than AJ right now, because AJ has started to drop back a bit, and Ferg exactly hasn't used a lot of ERS, has he? I think he's using it in the wise places. What can Harvey Lees do down in P3? Jeroen Visser, it must be so frustrating being stuck behind the DRS train in P4. I know how it feels. There's just no way you can overtake unless those guys make a mistake, which they won't do because they're really good drivers. but he's got more EOS compared to those guys, so can he use that to his advantage? Maybe he should start using a bit more EOS. Well, saying that though, he's closing all over the back of Harvey Lee's. Fowl has overtaken Steiny for P13. Yellow flags in sector 2, and that's Steiny who's just spun coming out of turn 9, sorry. It's a shame for Steiny. He was going to get some good points, but sadly, it's just ended with contact with Isabel Cohen. I don't know whose fault it is. I didn't really see a proper angle of that crash, but we'll find out soon, won't we? If anybody bothers to report it. Maybe it was just a racing incident. Maybe Cohen just lost traction coming out of the corner because he was around the outside. I think Steiny was making a move on Cohen, and I think Cohen just lost traction coming out of the corner and ended up hitting Steiny. So maybe if Steiny can report it for giving him damage, who knows? But Val Fury is in the pits then. That strategy, soft or hard, has not worked out, has it? Sadly for him. Changing front wing too, so he must have made contact with somebody. Back to the front then for another fight between those guys. Looks like Ferg is starting to pull away just slightly. Looks like he's got a better pace at this moment in time, but he has used a bit more EOS on this lap. Homing in on a Ferg. I'm so glad we get to see a fight at the French GP. Obviously, the last time we had a race in France, and it was 2019. It wasn't really that good, was it? And the layout of the circuit is rather difficult. Where's Krishna? Oh, I wonder where Krishna was, because Val Fury was fighting him and I didn't see Krishna whatsoever. So, did Krishna go off the track and overtake him? Or does he have to give that place back? I don't know, but those two are fighting for P15. Nathan Booth down in P5, 3 seconds behind the leaders. Now, the disadvantage he has is the EOS. 20% EOS, and look at those guys, look at that. Well, Harvey Lee's got 20%, but when he gets there, he's going to struggle overtaking them. And guess what, there's 3 laps left of this race. This race has absolutely flown by. I can remember lap 1 when the lights went out very early, well, very quickly it must be said. AJ needs to make amends on his championship. Can he claw his way back to P1? He's right behind Ferg. When will he make an overtake on Ferg? And Jeroen Visser's been stuck behind Harvey Lee's the whole blooming race. He needs to try and find a way past Harvey. Or could it be this chance because he could use his EOS? Apologies about that. You can see the flashing light at the back of Harvey Lee's car. It doesn't go down the inside. So Jeroen Visser now knows Harvey Lee's is running out of EOS. Under pressure, under big pressure is Harvey. Will it be Ferg, AJ, Harvey for the win, or Jeroen Visser? Could be either of them, but Jeroen Visser has made his way past. And guess what? He used a lot of EOS to get his way past Harvey. Now Harvey needs to keep calm and try and fight back on Jeroen Visser. Can any of the top 3 win this race? I can't believe I just missed it. You usually get every single battle in, but I wasn't expecting it either. It's just the usual stay behind the same person, but Jeroen Visser used a lot of his EOS, didn't he, to get past Harvey Lee's. Could that cost him later? There's 2 laps to go in this race. The big battle for the top 4, and Harvey, mate, he's using. There's no point using that much EOS on that straight. There was no need. You should have turned it off, because not a tactical way to use EOS on the straight. You're not going to gain anything from it apart from getting closer and closer, but you need to save for the next upcoming straights. AJ putting big pressure on Ferg. The thing is though, Ferg's got more EOS. Just a bit more EOS. You can see Ferg starts to pull away a bit. AJ, when will he make his move, I wonder? Is AJ going to play it tactically and smartly? The battle for the final podium not over yet between those two. Can Jeroen Visser find a way to get past those two? Be hard. And Nathan's 2.6 seconds behind Harvey Lee's. If he qualified in the top 10, what could have been if he just managed to find a better lap on those mediums? But saying that, they would have pushed Harvey Lee's out of the top 10, and Harvey Lee's will be in the position where he is now if that happened. You can see AJ all over the back, putting big pressure on Ferg ahead. Ferg ahead. Started to lose my voice a bit after the shouting I've done in this race. AJ got a bit wide through there, allowed Ferg to pull away. 2 laps to go in this race, and I just can't believe what's going to happen towards the end. Who's going to be our race winner? If one of them gets a 3-second time penalty, that's it, it's done. He'll drop out the podium because Nathan's down there in P5. He's dragging along iNemo. Deal's on the soft compound tyres. He's not really closed in as iNemo, as I thought he would. Right, so here we go then. When will AJ make his move on Ferg? He did it a few laps before, but Ferg got his way past. Who's going to be? Racing Point or an Alfa Romeo or McLaren or Ferrari? Ferg goes a bit deep there. I think he's trying to find new lines to try and get ahead, but AJ then slippery on the exit of turn 6. Will it be this lap, I wonder? Can AJ get past? It's got to be the last lap. If he doesn't do it this lap, it's definitely the last lap. Oh, could he have overtaken him down the inside if he used the ERS a bit more? Last lap counts between those two. And Harvey Lees versus Jeroen Visser still. Or could it be here? Could he? I don't think he wants to risk it, does he? Using the ERS and not having any towards the later stages. But look at that. Looks like AJ is much confident. And you don't really see it. Look at that. He's going to go for it around the outside. Can he carry the speed and momentum around the outside? No, he can't. He tried it. Can he go down the inside? He'll try to, but that's not really a place you want to fight. But he tried it though. Putting Ferg under big pressure. Wonder if his tyres are starting to drop off just a bit. You can see him sliding a lot. As Jeroen Visser, he said Jeroen Visser overtaking Harvey, but that happened ages ago. So I wonder if those two made a move, but Jeroen Visser got back past. Guess what? It's the last lap of this race. AJ knows he's got better pace than Ferg. AJ can't afford to risk anything. Can't make stupid moves. He's got to be on the straight surely. Ferg is under big pressure here. And guess what? Red lights flashing on both their cars. So is Harvey Lees. This is going to be... Oh, I can't wait. We'll find out at turn 8 what's going to happen. Right, get on the ERS. Use the ERS right now. You need to drain the ERS right now. There's no point saving it. What are you doing? Use the ERS right now to get past Ferg. I'm surprised he's not really gone for it. You know what I mean? I would have. But maybe he's playing it smarter. Maybe he's... Oh, he could use it on this straight. Yeah, he's got to use it right now. He knows he was quicker on that last straight. And look, guess what? Ferg's run out of the ERS. And here comes AJ. AJ will pull alongside to go down the inside. Don't really see an overtake happening. And guess what? He's taking the lead of the race at this corner. Can Ferg fight back down the inside? No, he can't. AJ played it beautifully, tactically, smartly, and he's got himself P1. Wow, what an amazing race in this race. Unbelievable. I don't think Ferg will be happy, but I dare say he got outplayed by AJ. AJ knew where he was quicker, almost lost it towards the last corner, and AJ will come across the line to win the French Grand Prix ahead of Ferg. Jeroen Visser P3 ahead of Harvey Lees. Nathan down in P5 ahead of iNemo. Dewall in P7 ahead of Adam Dixon, who's got a penalty to his name. So where will he drop? Say he's in P8 at the moment. What about Cartboy? Cartboy takes P8. Cartboy has taken P8 from starting P18. What a fantastic race. A thriller to watch. But AJ, like I said, he played it smartly, tactically. He knew where he was stronger. He experimented on the penultimate lap, and he used all of his knowledge on the penultimate lap, on the last lap, to take the race win. Stunning scenes there, just unbelievable. I'll invite the party now. What on earth happened there? I think Foul Fury just ran out of fuel on the line, didn't he? He got swamped by 2 drivers. But bearing in mind, penalties did kick in though. one by one. Alex, can you leave the party for a second, please? Alex, can you leave this party for a second? Alex, can you leave the party for a second, please, mate? Thank you, mate. Sorry. We'll wait for the other drivers then. So the race results: AJ P1 ahead of Ferg, Jeruvas a P3 ahead of Harvey, Nathan on his recovery drive to P5, Inebo P6 on start at P13, Dual P7, Cartboy P18 to P8, Troy A P9 ahead of Adam Dixon on his return, Very P11, Indy Jesus Mark, Louis Ladd, Foul Fury, Cohen, Steiny, Krishna and the two retirees, which is Het Bompier and Iceroll Knight. I think all three drivers are in now, are they?
Yeah, we are.
So, can you make sure your voice is allowed to be shared, please?
Yeah, they should be.
They are.
Braden, if you want to join, feel free to. And I'll go to the showroom.
Gonna double check.
I took what's it called? Notes from Cal Cohen because he went on the showroom, so I'll do it. Alfa Romeo first. That's the team you're in.
Oh yeah.
So hello AJ, mate. Oh, what a fantastic race! Oh no, we start 3 to first. I was just a bit excited there. Sorry.
Yeah, go on.
Right, so Javoon Visser P3, mate. How did you feel? Are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
Talk us through your race, mate.
Yeah, I literally have nothing much to say. First stint, I had to defend in the beginning of the soft runners. Start was a bit hectic, 3 wide going into turn 4, I think. But I made it through in P4. Did tire saving and ERS saving was I was at 80% for like the entire first stint. And then I decided to do an undercut. But I was not the only one that tried to do that. So me, Ferg and Harv did the same. We got slowed down in the pits by a weird glitch with Ferg's AI car. That made me and Harv as well lose some time. And then AJ came in front. And I was casually driving. I was like, I'll take the P4. And I'll try to get Harvey. And then I saw his red light flashing. And I had 70%. So on one lap I decided to go full send. I used everything and got him. And there was nothing I could do in the last laps to get AJ through.
Did you think in Q3 your last laps didn't really come together? Do you think you could have an improvement there? Change your race?
Yeah, for sure. I was doing toes with AJ. And it validated the beginning of my second run. So
shame, mate.
Yeah, and then I gave AJ a toe, and he did better than me. So congrats to him for the pole and the win.
Were you getting frustrated in that DRS chain because you were almost stuck behind it throughout the whole race?
No, it's not too bad. Like I've had another relic race here, and people in front of me were like running 1.5 wings.
Yeah.
And now everybody was using normal wings, and it was it raised my heartbeat a little bit. The battles we've had.
Congratulations on Peter. That's your 4th podium of the season now.
I don't know. I literally didn't know. I think
it's either your 3rd or 4th for sure.
Third.
Yeah. It keeps getting better for you, don't it, mate?
Yeah, it's coming together more, and practice is paying off. So
you starting to get more satisfied with your drives now?
Yeah, this I took the maximum today. Nothing more I could do than P3, so very happy.
True. Did you see what happened to Het Bompier coming out of the final corner? Did you see that?
Was
it just me?
I wasn't focusing on it. I was only looking ahead for the whole race.
Yeah, that's probably a good thing to do.
Yeah.
So congrats on P3, mate. I hope you enjoyed the race in 1st and 2nd. You got good action there, didn't you?
Yeah. It was nice to watch actually.
Best scene in the house.
Last lap, I was hoping one of them would make an error that gave me another place, but no, fair play to them.
Was
Clean
it?
And nice battling.
Javoon, was it just me, or did the lights go out very quickly at the start of the race?
Jesus Christ, man! I was
Judging by
I
your
was
reaction.
like taking a breath, and
Yeah.
yeah, I got caught off by that.
Yeah, I got caught up too. It surprised me.
Yeah, it was really early.
Yeah, congrats on P3 though, mate. Another podium, and it's getting better and better for you. I think you're fighting Harvey Lee's in the championship. Well, not championship, but yeah, the drivers' championship for P4. So are you focusing on him now?
I'm trying to do my best in the next races, and yeah, I'm not racing the last two races due to exams. So I think or Hungary
Oh, that's a
or
shame.
USA will be my last race for this
League
season.
race is more important than exams. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No. Thank you.
Well, congrats on your exams anyway, Jerome. I hope you get what you want.
Yes.
I'm pretty
I'll
sure you'll
try.
do fine in them.
Yeah. Thank you.
It's alright, mate. Good race, and are you racing next race? Did you say, or is it the last two races?
Yes, I'm racing Hungary and USA, and after that, I think I'll quit for the season.
How are you feeling for Hungary and USA?
Yeah, really looking forward to Hungary. It's my favorite track, and looking forward to some battles with especially Ferg. Also the Master of Hungary, and yeah, USA. I don't know. I've never done a race there, so
Something new for you then, USA.
yeah.
So your last two races, are you coming back after your exams?
Of course, Cohen is yeah, the nicest league I've been in. Nice community, and really want to stay here.
I take it Cohen has got exams too.
No, he's older than me.
Oh, right. So congrats on P3. Good luck for the next race, mate. Your pace was good here. We're moving on to second place, which is Ferg. How do you feel, mate? You had an amazing battle, so that must be something.
I feel really good, man. To be honest, leading up to this, Jacob's pace in practice and qualies that we've done. Yeah, I was really happy to get a better start, to be ahead of him, because I feel like if he was ahead of me in the first few laps, he could have pulled away, because he's just, yeah, his pace was pretty frightening. And then for the whole time, to be honest, unfortunately, obviously Nathan had his troubles in Q2. So for me, it was just stay in that top four really, and I wasn't really too bothered where I finished at the start in the top four, as long as I was top four. And as it progressed, the race, obviously, you know, where I wanted to finish went up and up and up to the point where I was always happy with second, basically. And seeing Jacob's pace with Harvey, with him behind Harvey, it looked like for me he was just all over the back of Harvey for quite a lot of the race, so I could see he had a lot of pace. And then in the pit stops, he didn't pit, and we got the undercut. I was hoping it would be a bit more effective, but that weird thing happened in the pits. It was a bit weird, and yeah, he bridged the gap after I'd gotten away from Harvey. And to be honest, I was just driving, thinking he could basically choose when he wanted to overtake me. So it was a bit worrying, but I was happy with my pace to keep him behind for so long. And then the battling we had was second to none. Just I haven't had I don't think I've had like a proper battle in Cone this season yet. Not like that anyway. And I didn't, even with Harvey as well. There wasn't a single bit of contact, I think, between all of us.
Yeah, it was very clean. I must be admit.
And yeah, to come in P2, I'm still absolutely buzzing with that. To be honest, obviously P1 would have been brilliant, but I think Jacob really did deserve the pole and the win today.
But it was very easy to make a mistake, despite all three drivers right behind you on your tail. I bet it was very hard indeed for you to not make a mistake. Were you nervous throughout the whole of that race?
Yeah, it was very intense. Obviously, any false move, I had a bloody Alfa Romeo, Ferrari, and a McLaren ready to pounce on it. So it was just keeping it cool. But I was surprised really, because into each DRS zone, I seemed, apart from obviously a couple laps, I was getting really good exits, getting up to about 6/10 almost every time, which allowed me to just not use any ERS. I was really good saving, and I believe I had a little mistake in the penultimate lap, and that little bit of track in between sectors 1 and 2. which really put Jacob onto the back of me, which made me go from, I think I had like 45 to 25,
Yeah.
and I was hoping to save the rest for the last lap, but it just wasn't enough. So yeah.
And on the last lap, were you expecting Jacob to make a move down the inside to turn 7? Or did you know he was going to wait?
I feel like he was. It was tough to tell, because obviously he was close in the DRS, and to be honest, it was just it was all happening so quick. I was just wanting to stay ahead, obviously, and hoping he had not. I was hoping he was going to use it all into the do wheel, and then my bloody fuel thing came up when I was going through that chicane.
Yeah.
And I was obviously like, oh god, so I quickly put it into lean, which obviously helped me save a bit of fuel, but obviously at the cost of some speed, which allowed Jacob to fly up the inside, and then went narrow into the fast right-hander, which I maybe could have done a cut back, but it would have been ambitious to say the least. But yeah.
I know you say you're happy fighting with having competition and fighting, but you must feel a little bit of frustration. Every driver does. You must feel a little bit of frustration being overtaken on the last lap like that.
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. I mean, it's not the first time it's happened. But so in some respects, I'm used to it. But I suppose at this point in this season, it's damage limitation for the championship, so to speak. So. If that was Nathan, different story.
Well, what do you think he would have done?
Oi!
No, I would have obviously. Obviously,
Yeah.
like if you were in Nathan's position in the championship, you did that.
Yeah, it would have been.
It would have been a
different
little bit more hurtful.
Aggressive.
But it was still just a great battle, great race. Had me on my toes the whole time. I couldn't even breathe. Like it was just next. So yeah, well done, man.
Yeah.
Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to say, just both of you, all 4 of you, including Harvey Lees, might not be here listening, but big, massive respect for not making any contact or getting any penalties either. It's like very hard not to get a penalty or make a mistake.
How much warnings did you have, guys?
None.
0.
I had 2 warnings from like lap 5.
Same,
The
same,
entire
same.
race, I was being cautious.
AJ, from lap
literally-
7,
oh.
I got 2 warnings, and then I had to do the whole race without any warning.
Mad. I should have just like I was. See, I think that's why it was like semi-even going into turn 1, because like I'm so bad at it, but like because didn't have any warnings, it was like it wasn't too
could send it.
sketchy. But like my send it is you're cautious.
Oh,
On that track, at
realistically,
least, yeah.
yeah. And then like sector 3, I can like kind of get like get a 10 or something.
And comment to you, Javoon, in the chat. Harvey Lees' port fair as always, Javoon. So that's something positive to hear.
Yeah, on the second last lap, I don't know if you caught it on stream. I had a huge tank slapper out of turn 14, I think. And me and Harv were side by side into the last corner. He doesn't think I left him enough space, but I watched it back now and I was on the inside. I left him space and but we touched the wheel bank a bit and it put him wide.
We'll go to AJ then in
let's
the
do
Alpha
this,
Romeo.
Yeah.
Well, AJ, much better race after a dismal race in Monza. How do you feel, mate?
Really happy. Really happy with how Harv, Jeroen, and Ferg all raced. It was really good today. Happy with my pace. Feel I did pretty well, and whatever shenanigans happened in the pits, I think it. While it did contribute, I don't think it was enough.
Can we stop there? Can we go to Ferg on that one? Ferg, can you explain what happened in the pits? Because it happened to you.
Yeah, I tried to release, and it with the green light, and it just didn't. It just basically waited like probably like half a second, but I didn't like re-release it. If you know what I mean, like it was like not quick. It was quick enough for like. So I'm holding X, and then I let go of it, and then before I could press it and let go of it again, I was released. So it was just like a weird, like I don't really know. I could get the footage. To be fair, it was quite odd, and yeah, I must have left the pit box like half a second slower, and then came back out, and then me and Harvey were in each other and then I think that forced his AI to slow down.
Yeah, same for me.
And Euron, yeah.
Yeah, coming out of the pits for me. Sorry, yeah, coming out of the pits for me. I was worried because when I exited the pits, I still had my pit limiter on for like half a second. So like, oh no, I've lost it. Because I thought like I slammed on the throttle like halfway through. I did it a split second late, so I thought I was about to spin out because my rear sort of jutted it a little bit. So yeah, pretty happy with how I came out there.
Yeah, we'll go back to you, AJ. So yeah, about the race.
Yeah. What about it?
How do you think it went for you then? I know it went really, really well, but talk us through the emotions that you went through in the race, like being fighting for first place and defending from Harvey Lee's and Jeroen Visser, the strategy, etc.
Well, I was pretty happy to be able to start on mediums. Probably same with a lot of people, and good with the start really. But I was happy that I was able to keep with Harv and Ferg. And I, by the time we were reaching the end of the stint, I realised I was gaining on Harv because I think he was pushing quite a bit, going side by side a couple times with Ferg. So his wear was like getting quite a bit. It was hindering quite a bit.
Yeah.
And I saw my tire wear, and I realised, okay, I can take this an extra lap. I don't need to pit with them because I knew I could use the pace. And then I came out in front of Harv, which was really good for me because I could then focus on Ferg. Overtook him a few laps later, and then Harv was battling him, and he was saying like, "Oh, I had to use a bit of ERS because he was battling me." And then when Ferg overtook me again, I realised, okay, so any bit of sort of attack or any notice of an attack, he's going to be shaking, shaking in his boots really, and he's going to use some ERS. So I realised that, and I thought the lap before I overtook him, or 2 laps before, I thought I'd go a bit closer and sort of go down the inside on the exit, like the long right-hander, just to poke my nose in and make him use a bit of the ERS, so I think it worked out pretty well. But yeah, mad respect though, what a race. Good pace, man.
Were you surprised about coming out of the pits ahead of both Harvey and Jeroen despite staying a lap? What? I can't put it into words now.
Don't worry, it's all good. It's all good.
What's the word?
I get what you're trying to say. Don't worry.
A lap.
Overlap. That's all right.
A lap longer. There we go.
Happy.
A lap longer.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, just happy. I was pretty surprised. Yeah, but I couldn't really think about how surprising it was. I just thought, look, I'm ahead of her. I'm just gonna push, and try and catch Ferg. So yeah.
So you surprised to get pole position as well in Q3?
I mean, by that margin, I was bloody well surprised. And thank you again to Euron for giving me the tow, mate. Like, thank you.
Yeah, no problems, man.
Also, you said you got 2-1s off the start, and did you think it could be a bad race from there on in, or did you manage to stay calm and get back in the group?
I wouldn't say calm is the right word. I'd say focused and trying really hard to not invalidate, but also trying to keep ahead. And there were a few moments where halfway through the corner, I felt like I'd gone across it and gotten a warning, but thankfully it didn't give me a warning in the moment. So I was, every time I'd go over a corner too much, I'm like, oh damn it! But it turned out fine.
So every time you were fighting with Ferg, Jeroen, and Harv, were you always thinking about that penalty?
Yeah, it was always in my mind because I knew that it was always going to be a close end to the race because we were all in just a train together. So the priority was to avoid cutting the corners and keep the pace good enough. So yeah.
I think you played it smartly and tactically because you knew Ferg on the penultimate lap. Ferg struggled through sector 3 and you were alongside him and almost made the move. I thought you could go around the outside, but you backed out of it. So knowing you had minimal EOS, did you try and do the move again? Think it would work? Which it did work.
Well, it was a mix of I knew that his tyres would be a bit more worn than mine because of the extra lap, and because I was sort of going down the inside, I wasn't going full throttle going for the move because I knew I wouldn't make it.
Yeah.
I was just there to sort of poke my nose in and make him, aware that I was there, and I just thought that would give him a bit more wear, and yeah, it turned out pretty well. So yeah, pretty happy in the end.
Yeah, good for you, mate. And closing in on the championship then, we've got, is it 4 races left?
five races after
5
this.
races. Do you think there's a chance to still clinging back on the championship?
We'll see how it goes, race by race. But I think it's between Ferg and Nathan, really.
Ferg and Nathan. Do you think you could close in on your brother? Like, is there any chance of you fighting your brother too?
Well, if he keeps racing and keeps qualifying like he did today, then probably have a chance of
Oh,
catching him.
big shots.
Yeah.
Do you think
Well,
you think you drove the perfect race today then, other than those penalties? Oh, I mean those warnings.
I mean, it didn't come till penalties, so I think as perfect as it could have been, really.
Harvey Lee says there's 4 races left, mate.
16 races now.
Britain, Monaco, USA, and Hungary.
Let me just double check that.
Britain's gonna be a good one, I can tell you that one. So
Oh,
next,
it's 15. Alright, my bad.
yeah, Hungary. Next race is Hungary, AJ. How do you feel about that one? Is it a good track for you, or do you struggle there?
I'm going to say the same thing I said last time I was on the podium. I don't know what to expect till I start doing time trial and some qualifying sessions, so we'll see how it goes.
Daniel, what about you, mate? You said it was Jeroen said it was a good track for you. Do you agree with that one? Is that a good track for you?
Yeah, I love the track, to be fair. I do love it. But knowing this grid
Such a
is
good
always
track.
so close, so yeah.
This is and AJ. This is make up for the Spanish GP. No, Monza. Sorry, this is make up for Monza.
I'd say it's a good start.
Yeah. What happened in Monza, if you don't mind me asking?
Uh,
Oh no.
yeah, it's a week ago. I'm
Oh no.
hit at the wrong time. Got a drive through. That's all.
Oh yeah, you did, didn't you, on the safety car or virtual?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you to the top 3 for joining the podium interviews. It's been a fantastic race. All 4 Harvey Lees, Jeroen Visser, Daniel Ferguson, and Jacob Booth fighting for the lead. We'll see you all next time. Thank you, the top 3, and well done.
Thank you. Yeah,
Thank you.